Hey, what's up? Jonathan Fink. This is my audiobook series, free and live on YouTube. Up next, The Pokemon Gods Are Real, Chapter 45, The Lost Sets. Every enduring religion develops its own sense of absence. There are texts referenced, but rarely seen. Artifacts whispered about, but seldom encountered. Entire chapters of history that seem to drift at the edges of collective memory. In Pokemon, these become the lost sets. Not lost in the literal sense, for nothing printed at scale truly vanishes, but lost in attention, in visibility, in the living consciousness of the hobby. They are the expansions overshadowed by louder sets, eclipsed by icons so dominant that entire generations of cards fade into comparative obscurity. Memory, like the market, is selective. Certain sets become immortal. Base set, with its mythic Charizard, stands permanently illuminated. Modern releases fueled by hype cycles command relentless discussion. Between these peaks, however, lie vast stretches of Pokemon history that receive far less reverence, despite their richness, innovation, and influence. These are the scriptures time quietly buries. Some lost sets suffer from unfortunate timing. Released during downturns or transitional periods, they entered a community distracted by fatigue, economic pressure, or shifting tastes. Without immediate frenzy to cement their prestige, they slipped into a strange limbo, neither forgotten nor fully celebrated. Others were victims of their own subtlety. Not every era produces explosive chase cards. Some sets advance the game in quieter ways, refining balance, introducing evolutionary steps, or experimenting with design language that only later gained appreciation. In real time, such releases can feel muted. Only retrospect reveals their significance. But retrospection is never guaranteed. The concept of a lost set is deeply psychological. The card still exists. Still product survives. Checklists remain intact. What changes is the narrative gravity. The communal spotlight moves elsewhere, leaving certain expansions stranded outside the dominant mythology of the hobby. Visibility defines perceived importance. Even dedicated collectors experience this phenomenon. A binder page sparked recognition of cards once ubiquitous yet rarely discussed today. The experience resembles rediscovery, as though one has stumbled upon neglected ruins within a well-charted civilization. Market cycles further complicate perception. When demand surges, attention compresses around celebrated releases, iconic characters, and high liquidity assets. During corrections, focus narrows again, often favoring stability or nostalgia. In both conditions, quieter historical segments struggle for sustained recognition. Noise overwhelms nuance. Yet, lost sets possess a peculiar power precisely because of their marginality. Freed from relentless hype, they invent a different kind of appreciation. Collectors encounter them without the distortions of frenzy. Artwork, mechanics, and thematic cohesion emerge more clearly when detached from speculative noise. Distance restores interest. For some believers, discovering a lost set produces a uniquely satisfying experience. Without preloaded expectations, the cards feel fresh despite their age. There is pleasure in uncovering overlooked beauty and in recognizing craftsmanship that escaped broader celebration. It feels like finding hidden scripture. Importantly, lost sets reveal the evolving nature of sacredness in Pokemon. What the community reveres is not static. Cultural memory, nostalgic waves, media amplification, and economic forces continually reshape which eras occupy central mythological space. Canon is dynamic. Today's obscurity may become tomorrow's obsession. Sets once dismissed as unremarkable sometimes reemerge as aesthetic measures or scarcity anomalies. Shifts in collective taste, historical reevaluation, or generational nostalgia can restore narrative gravity to previously neglected expansions. Nothing is permanently lost. This cyclical resurrection mirrors patterns seen across human culture. Art movements, technologies, and ideas frequently experience delayed recognition. Pokémon, despite its modern commercial structure, obeys similar dynamics. Value and reverence are not always synchronized with each product release. The lost sets therefore serve as reminders of humility. No collector, investor, or commentator can perfectly predict which chapters of the hobby will endure in prominence. Popularity at release guarantees nothing. Obscurity guarantees nothing. History rearranges hierarchies without warning. Significance is rarely obvious in the present. For the faithful, lost sets preserve mystery within a hobby increasingly driven by metrics and visibility. They hint at unseen depths, unexamined corners, and narratives awaiting rediscovery. They remind collectors that Pokemon's history is far larger than the few eras dominating discussions. There are always forgotten worlds hiding in plain sight, and perhaps that is the quiet lesson of the lost sets. Sacredness is not determined solely by hype, price, or fame. Meaning can reside in overlooked, the undiscussed, the sets waiting patiently for their return to collective consciousness. End of chapter 45. Up next, chapter 46, The Pilfered Temples. Thanks for your support. Please like, please subscribe, and as always, God bless.